So good morning, everyone. Thanks for logging into this video. My name is Jeff, and I'm from the Association of Residential Communities. It's great to have you with us. It's specifically a great privilege to have Ingo Mutanelli with us today from Idemia, and he'll just briefly introduce himself in a minute. But what's really fascinating about this discussion is that Idemia have launched, or they have launched in many estates, a great product in relation to biometrics access devices and things like that. And we're going to be discussing a couple of things in relation to that, in respect of what he sees of trends, in respect of what the Idemia can ensure through the launching of their product, specifically at this time, where in respect of many articles seen and many interviews, this whole notion of people using fingers and wiping and swiping and all of these good things, it's great to be able to discuss other solutions in relation to that, especially that we find ourselves in the middle, well, we hope in the middle, which means a little bit still to go before we're out of it, of this pandemic that's taken us by storm. So Ingo, thanks for coming in. Briefly just introduce yourself and your company, and then we'll launch into three questions which I have to you for this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff, and thanks for the platform. Good morning to everybody, and good day to everybody watching. So my name is Ingo Mutanelli, and I'm the Regional Sales Director for Idemia. So my region covers South Africa and Southern Africa, and we are a manufacturer of biometric terminals and have been at the forefront of manufacturing biometric terminals for many years, since sort of the 1970s. So we're market leaders. We're directly represented in South Africa as well. And Idemia as a company has sort of four business units to it, but the one relevant to this discussion is biometric terminals.
Okay, fantastic. So let's kick us off here. Obviously, being involved in the field, what trends have Idemia seen in the residential space, specifically as it relates to biometric devices? Could you maybe kick us off?
Okay. Yeah. So the advent of biometrics has always been quite an interesting space and very exciting, especially when it comes to access control, because the tenets of access control is you want the right person to gain access to an area or a facility or whatever the case may be. Now, biometrics has made it possible to be a lot more focused in terms of who you do allow in. So over the years, we've provided a lot of biometric sort of solutions, and in the residential market, residential estate market, biometrics have taken on quite nicely. So the adoption rate, especially in South Africa, has been really good. Yeah. So the reasons for that is clear. I mean, you want to know who's coming in, and you want to know that person coming in is in fact the person. With other technologies, you can share cards, you can copy cards and all those kind of things, but it's very difficult, if not impossible, to duplicate a biometric. So a biometric like a fingerprint or a face or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing over and above the great adoption of biometrics in the residential estates side of things is that estates are looking to secure the premises and the entry and exit of those premises to ensure that the right people are coming in and leaving. And over and above that, they're looking to make sure that that entry and exit is done quickly.
Yep.
Estates have got lots of people in them. Jeff, you'll know that a lot of these estates have those busy periods in the morning when everybody's going to work, or in the afternoon when everybody's coming home. Yeah. You've got a lot of cars coming in and leaving. That can often lead to lots of frustration. It leads to security gaps, because when you've got loads of people trying to get in, people cross, putting guards under pressure, etc., it does sometimes create some security gaps. So one of the things that estates are looking to do is to limit those bottlenecks. So quick entry, quick exit, as painless as possible.
Okay.
And even, moving on to another cited is, even before COVID, people were hesitant to touch something. So residential estates are more and more looking for frictionless technology, something you don't necessarily have to touch. And for two reasons. It's not only for the hygienic side of things, but it also takes time to go and touch something and put your finger on it properly and position it properly. Some people have trouble doing that. So frictionless technology not only aids in that, because you don't have to sort of touch something, but then it's obviously hygienic as well.
Yes.
And then, of course, high security. It's one thing saying that you now can use biometric technology, but is that biometric technology sophisticated enough with the right kind of technology behind it that it is allowing the right person through, and we see that accuracy of the biometric device at an entry or exit point is also paramount. So those are sort of the three things that we're seeing residential estates really interested in as their three top concerns.
Okay, so let's focus in on sanitization and germ transfer. I went into an estate before lockdown in Honeydew, where I saw your system installed, and I was very surprised by the fact that it is frictionless, and I love that term, frictionless access control. You don't have to touch something, and I know first-hand experience that if you don't get your finger in exactly the right spot or exactly the right time, or if you're sweaty, or if it's dirty, or whatever, or it's creating, you just need one at that gate. So in some respects, if we're going for the boom, you could kind of drive without really stopping, and I'm not suggesting that that's the purpose of your technology. You need to stop and check and do all the other do all of the other things, but it does ease movement. So could this be best practice of the future around the world, and specifically on the hygiene side of it, the sanitization, germ transfer, because it is something of the future, and I don't know that necessarily fingerprint technology and the swabbing thereof after every entry, because that's what is going to be required. This may be a very, very useful alternative as frictionless technology goes. Comments on that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, the wave is what you're referring to, the Morphowave Compact. And for those estates out there that are ARC members that have them in their estates will know that just a wave of the hand and you're through. You mentioned not advocating, just to continue driving, but there are some estates that have positioned their readers such that if you're slowing down and you wave your hand through it, by the time you get past that reader, the boom's already open. So talk about frictionless and uninhibited movement. It doesn't get them, which is how we get throughput we do. Everybody wants to use something that it is easy to use and something that doesn't inhibit your transaction, whatever that transaction may be. And it doesn't get better than using something frictionless. So if you don't have to touch something, if something doesn't inhibit you in any way, that's the ultimate goal. I think we get really, really close to achieving that through the Morphowave Compact. And so if you don't have to touch it and it works well and it's accurate and it's taking all those touch points away, that's what you'd like. Really, you do still have to work with certain fingerprint technology, and best practice around fingerprint technology is, as you've mentioned, sanitizing your finger or your hand prior to the use of the fingerprint reader, and then after using the fingerprint reader to do it again. Somebody may have sort of not been as strict as you'd like them to be. So that's what's playing out at the moment. There's a lot of our technology out there and other technology out there that you still have to touch. The Morphwave Compact isn't the cheapest unit out there, so some fingerprint technology still needs to be used, and in those cases best practice is to sanitize before and sanitize after use. The actual reader itself also needs to be cleaned regularly, but there we've got to be a lot more careful, because obviously you're dealing with electronics. Using alcohol-based product on a reader, on a sensor, you damage it. So you have to be quite careful of how you clean the reader itself. But best practice around the world is sanitize before and sanitize after.
Yes.
Or of course, if you don't have to touch the reader at all, and that's where the Morphwave Compact comes in.
Okay, so a particular community, a particular member wants to change. Forget about the cost for a minute. We've got to do what we've got to do. Of course, there's cost to it, but what is the ease of change? Is it simply a hardware change where your system would talk to whatever software they have in place? Or would it, probably a crazy question, but it's going to be asked. Does one have to go in and change all your software and all your analytics, or if it's simply a hardware change? Or, if you don't know the answer to that question, because it depends what system they got, I suppose. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, so the beauty of our product is that we integrate with pretty much anything that's out there. We have open protocols to our readers for any manufacturer to write integration pathways into our product. Over and above that, we have a weekend output, which means you can pretty much wire our device into any access control, any physical access control system that's out there.
Gotcha.
We've got deep integration with menu manufacturers around the world, and there we make SDKs, software development kits available for that integration. APIs are available, so we make it as easy as possible for any manufacturer to deeply integrate into our product. And for those customers or those manufacturers out there that don't have that deep integration, you can just use the weekend output and make use of the product. So to answer your question simply, it's a case of changing what's currently on site and putting the Morphwave Compact in.
Okay, fantastic. Well, it sounds wonderful. Okay, so how can people contact you, Ingo? We will put your details in into the video, or we'll attach them once it's published via YouTube. But very quickly, are you an essential service? Do you have people out there that can go on site? If someone says, go and have a look at what we've got, come back and give me a proposal. Do you have people now, or do we need to wait until the end of the lockdown?
So we have received essential status, not from the perspective, but our products have got essential. Our route to market in South Africa is through our distribution channel. So we have 4 distribution channel partners in SA that address the market for us. Now, those distribution partners or channel partners have also got essential services status, and they too are able to supply our product to the install, etc. As you know, security installations are also deemed as essential services, so there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to get your installation done. It is deemed an essential service and an essential product, so it's readily available. And we have been sort of trading through this lockdown period, and we'll be able to support. So what Idemia would do to help help. The ARC membership is, and one of the reasons that we're here is not only to share best practice and the new tech out there, but we also assist our channel partners in making sure that the right level of security is being used, that everybody's trained correctly, and all those good things. And as the manufacturer, we don't just sit back and let the channel handle everything. We assist and make sure that the right things are being done.
Okay, fantastic. That was brilliant. Well done, Ingo. So we'll put up the contact details. Obviously, Idemia are on the ARC website, and the scrolling banner, you click on there, it'll take them straight to the website, or call Ingo directly. So thanks for your time. Do you have any closing comments, or are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we covered quite a bit of ground. And as you say, my contact details are readily available, and we'll engage and point you in the right direction and assist where we possibly can.
Well done. Thanks, Ingo.